everybody. Welcome. It's Lidia Kazawa here, and today we're going to be getting into the VTuber Newsy news. But before we do, please consider smash subscribe, hit the like, ring the bell. And guys, do you know how to stream on Twitch? Head over to Twitch. And if you're at work, leave me a lurk. Okay, guys, on to our very first piece of news. All right, guys, for this story, I want to preface this by saying that there is a trigger warning in effect for some politics. Part of my job in doing the Newsy news is to tell you what happened, not how to feel about it. That is completely up to you personally. So don't shoot the messenger, and just keep in mind I'm only telling you what happened so that you can stay informed, okay? This is Rev Say Desu, and Rev Say Desu is a male English-speaking VTuber, anime reviewer, and news reporter, and this is Advanced GG, and Advanced GG is a energy drink company. So why are we talking about Rev and Advanced GG? Well, guys, just to give you some context here, this was posted on Miss Lala's X account. This was posted on January 25th, 2026, and she said, F ice. So in reply to that, Rev says on January 25th, LARP says a 1950s VTuber hates current federal agency that is more tame than any law enforcement agency of the time period included in her LARP. So as you can imagine, this really divided the VTuber community, and a lot of people pulled out of their sponsorships with Advanced GG. It's just an example, but this was Kitten saying, as of today, I will no longer be affiliated with Advanced GG. I've been connected to them since 2024, but I've been uncomfortable with who they have chosen to partner with for a while, hence me not promoting them much. Don't normally make posts like this, but I felt like I had to. So then Advanced GG has finally come forward with the statement. So this was posted on Advanced GG's X account on January 29th, and it says here, we want to address concerns that have been raised regarding a partner and recent conversations surrounding Advanced. Advanced does not support extremism or hate. We have zero tolerance for harassment, threats, doxing, or any content that marginalizes any community. We are committed to inclusivity, respect, and maintaining a community where people feel safe and welcome. We are addressing recent concerns, including partnership matters, through our internal process. We will not do public callouts by trial or social media. Advanced is not a political platform. Enforcement will be handled privately and consistently. Thank you to everyone who has supported Advanced over the years. So then Advanced followed up with a tweet on January 30th saying, we completed our internal review and have ended the partnership relation at issue. We won't be discussing individual details publicly. Our standards are enforced consistently, and staff and community safety come first. So this is Darling Straub, and Darling Straub is Rev's wife, and Darling Straub and Rev both had collaboration merchandise on Advanced GG website as well. So this is Straub saying, both mine and Rev's contract with Advanced GG has been terminated. This whole thing was honestly very confusing and stressful, but I won't be going into details. Very disappointed to see this be their final decision. I wish them the best despite them hurting me in the way that they have. All right, so that was posted on Straub's X account on January 30th. So then Rev, of course, has issued a response as well. So this is posted on Rev's X account. This is posted on January 30th, 2026 at around 8:52 p.m. And Rev says, hey, Advanced GG, why is one of the current faces of your company, Vex Milk, currently scrubbing her account of tweets harassing me and my wife? Isn't harassment grounds for termination? So then you can see here, this is just like a collection of screenshots. So this is the advertisement for Vex Milk. When you go to Advanced GG, it's kind of like one of those pop-up advertisements here. So then this is Vex saying, he's gone, F yeah, those are my gamers, with like a dancing cat. And then Vex Milk continues to say, I will block you if you defend Rev or Straub, you absolute effing bootlicking weirdos. F ice and absolutely F you. So then Vex continues to say, anyways, I'm muting this now because I'm not putting up with you weirdos defending someone who wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. So that's Rev's reply to Advanced GG, just pretty much calling out Vex Milk about like how if you're going to be terminating my partnership based on hate speech, you should also be terminating Vex Milk based on her speech as well, essentially is what Rev is trying to say. So then Rev continues to say on their X account on January 30th, 2026 at around 7:50 p.m. Rev says, they want to vague post, but they terminated me and Straub. Despite the request that I, quote, keep this private, I'll be uploading my side of the story soon. Don't worry, Advanced, there's no need to share private or confidential info. I will only speak to public information since your indecisiveness and hypocrisy has allowed this to become a public matter. Not to mention there are multiple partners in your company who have been harassing me and my wife, and we know you have been aware, and they are continuing to do so in the quotes of this response you made. Meanwhile, I never harassed anyone. You supported me and monetized me as someone who is, quote, unapologetically real and unfiltered until the hate mob of unreasonable people became too much for you. You bent the knee. Enjoy your new audience. So this is a screenshot of what was on Advanced GG's website in regards to describing who Rev was. So it says here, loud, fearless, and unapologetically real, Rev Says Desu embodies everything the senpai line stands for. Shaker 003 captures his raw energy and unfiltered personality, blending anime-inspired chaos with sleek design. It's more than a shaker. It's a statement piece for those who never hold back. Anyways, guys, so if you were a fan of Rev and wanted to buy anything, it looks like Advanced GG has removed everything from their website, so this is now an empty collection. So anyways, guys, what do you think of Advanced GG dropping Rev? Do you think that it was justified, or do you think that it's unfair? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, guys, on to our next piece of Newsy news. This is ChromaSHIFT, and ChromaSHIFT, formerly known as Idol Corp, is a VTuber agency owned by FTW Entertainment. And within ChromaSHIFT, there is a talent named Enya Ignis, and Enya Ignis is a female English-speaking virtual YouTuber and V-singer affiliated with ChromaSHIFT's generation unit, ENCORE. So I'm talking about ChromaSHIFT and Enya. Well, guys, this is posted on Enya's X account. This was posted on February 1st, 2026 at around 12:43 a.m. And Enya says, "The doctors believe I might have had a stroke or some kind of neurological damage." So then you can see here, Enya continues to say a neuro mention, and then it's just kind of like the brain kind of turning into whipped cream here, which is obviously very concerning. Enya continues to say, "I tried to give this to staff, but the button was wrong. I'm sorry." So this is Bonnie Barkswell, and Bonnie's saying, "Enya, thinking of you, wishing you a speedy recovery." Wild Spice says, "Hope you're okay." Syken says, "Well, what the heck? Hope you're doing okay now." And then Bree says, "Holy crap." Okay, so this is posted on ChromaSHIFT's X account. This is posted on February 1st, 2026 at around 2:49 p.m. And ChromaSHIFT says, "Update on Enya's well-being. We are in contact with Enya and can confirm that she is currently at home and healing. We will have more info for you later on this week. Thank you for your concern. Praying hands." Anyways, guys, if you're a fan of Enya, just know that she probably won't be streaming for a little bit as she had a stroke/neurological damage. So she is at home and recovering. So if you are a fan of Enya, please make sure to go send her some love and support at this time. A lot of times creators need your help the most when they are not streaming because they are trying to kind of like get back on their feet from like a health issue. So if you're able to support Enya in any way, that would be super helpful. So please make sure to go send her some love on X as well. Okay, guys, on to our next piece of Newsy news. This is Hololive, and Hololive is a gaming brand dedicated to bringing to life user-generated games based on Hololive production. And this is Age of Advent, and Age of Advent is a game that was made by Moo Cow Games, which is based on the members of Hololive Advent. So I was talking about Hololive and Age of Advent. This is posted on the VTuber drama subreddit. This is posted by Diego1Marcus and says, "Kevin Cow, lead developer of Small Ame and Age of Advent, has a mental breakdown over low engagement, makes vague posts about Hololive and how it's a, quote, huge mistake, gets criticized so hard that he deactivates his Twitter account, and then retreats to Blue Sky to rant about Hololive's toxic community." So this is the context here. So it says, for context, Kevin Cow was responsible for creating the hit game Small Ame, which spawned a sizable speedrunning community and is also considered one of the precursors for Hololive fan games, opening the floodgates for more fan games to be made. He's also known to get very emotional and infamously tweeted out in 2021 a rant about how he wanted to delete Small Ame because he was extremely bitter about Ame not hiring him for a paid commission work. These tweets have been deleted prior to his account getting nuked. This feeling would still follow him when he made a tweet in 2023, which seemed like he was praising Fumoko's work ethic, but also snuck in a jab at Ame. It has also been deleted. Prior to making the vague post tweet, he went on Blue Sky and ranted about his low metrics, citing that he had hoped that the following he built from making Hololive fan games would help him succeed in becoming an indie dev. You can't find his vague tweet anymore since his account is gone, but searching for his name on Twitter still reveals some replies to his tweets. Interesting tidbits when going through his Blue Sky. 1. Kevin Cow was considering delisting Age of Advent. This isn't new, as he attempted to try this in the past with Small Ame, first link I post. Number 2, he made a series of Blue Sky posts related to Age of Advent's first anniversary, mulling over the fact that no one from Advent played his game. 3, it's worth noting that Kevin is a huge Gavis Battelle fan and a general Holostars fan. This is important to note because he would occasionally sneak Holostars reference into his games. Case in point, Small Ame's final update was supposed to have a Cali theme stage, but was ultimately scrapped and somehow replaced with Bettle theme stage. And in Age of Advent, there's a lot of references to Bettle in some of the mini games, most notably in the Wura Butta Crash and Rideshare Rebellion. Some fans have pointed out that this is the most likely reason why talents have not played his games recently, not because Holostars aren't allowed to be in Holo Indie, but because of the talents' preferences to not show Holostars in their streams. So this is some of the screenshots. Let's just take a look here. This is a screenshot of Kevin Cow's Blue Sky, and then Kevin says, "My profile says I have 2K followers, but I feel like 99% of them went back to Twitter, and my real number is closer to 20. I also have a mutual who has around 2K, but I always immediately notice if he reposts me because his followers are actually active." And Kevin says, "I'm not trying to obsess over engagement and metrics and stuff, but the following I built up with my Holo games is the one thing that made me think I might be able to succeed as an indie dev. Now I don't even have that anymore. I'm basically starting over from scratch. 1 million buttons has about 100 wish lists last I checked. A friend told me I'm supposed to be getting at least that every week. I guess that's part of why I haven't really worked on it since October. Seems destined to fail if I can't generate interest, and I'm not sure what more I can do for that. Feels like my only only hope of success is that a big creator mutual decides to stream something I make, but I know from experience that's not something you can rely on, not even if they've told you directly that they plan on doing so. Kevin continues to say, don't work with Holo Indie, huge mistake. And then you can see here, this is a screenshot that essentially saying that his profile no longer exists. Okay, and then this is Kevin on Blue Sky explaining about the toxicity of Hololive fandom. Kevin says, Hololive really turned out to have an absurdly toxic and horrible fan base. I'll leave my games up for now, but other than that, I'm cutting all ties with Hololive and its fandom. Oh, cool. The Yahtzee PDFs on Twitter are following me over here so they can keep harassing me and spreading lies. I don't believe I'll ever be able to do anything of value again. I've done only one thing of value in my life and it's just made me miserable. I don't believe I'll ever be happy and I don't think I deserve to be happy. I hate myself. I'm so tired. And then Kevin says, finally deleted my Twitter account. Genuinely nothing but stupid, hateful a-holes left in the festering dumpster. Everyone who still regularly uses it, oh, Jesus Christ. Everyone who still regularly uses it deserves super COVID. Okay, so let's see what some of the people on Reddit are saying. Neat Tangelio says, this reminds me of what Iron Mouse said during Super Eye Patch Wolf interview. Don't obsess over numbers, it will eat you alive. Quaza says, this is the problem I've seen a few times with these artists, to be honest. Like, for one, don't go making anything fan-related, art or games, with the damn expectation any of the talent will do something with it. They do not owe you to play the game just because you decided to make it. But I've seen a lot of people talk about how they don't have much engagement or they don't have replies/retweets, and 9 out of 10 times they do nothing to garner said engagement. Hellamite says, Kevin is the perfect example of a guy riding a bike and shoving a stick between his own spokes meme. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Kevin Cow's tweets? Do you feel that he's justified, or do you feel that he's just obsessing over metrics that are not important? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, guys, on to our next piece of Newsy news. This is Dokibird, and Dokibird is an independent English language VTuber. So, why are we talking about Doki? Well, guys, this is some very exciting news coming up in regards to Doki. This is posted on Doki's X account. This is posted on February 1st, 2026 at around 8:26 p.m. And Doki says, second anniversary, #Dok today. That's on February 7th, which is Saturday at 5 p.m. PST, 1 a.m. GMT, and 10 a.m. JST. So let's take a look at this trailer. There's a new outfit coming. So if you guys are excited to check out Doki, this is the waiting room here on her YouTube channel. Okay, guys, on to our next piece of Newsy news. This is Kick, and Kick is an Australian video live streaming service. Kick was founded in 2022 as a competitor to Twitch with a focus on looser moderation, higher revenue shares for streamers, and the inclusion of online gaming content, which has been banned from other platforms. And this is ViewBot, and ViewBot is an automated software script used to artificially inflate the view count of live streams or videos, often with the intent to deceive audiences and advertisers about the content creator's popularity. Digital media scholars have compared this practice to placing mannequins around carnival rides. This artificial crowd is intended to signal excitement to passerbyers, therefore tricking legitimate viewers into joining the stream. So why are we talking about Kick and ViewBot? Well, guys, this is posted on X. This is posted by Crash Override, and this is posted on January 31st, 2026 at around 11:19 a.m. So Wiz says, Kick CEO Eddie admits the majority of KPP streamers are cheating. And it says, quote, if we banned every single person botting on the KPP program, the reality is there wouldn't be many people left. He also mentioned that we should continue to call them out as we see it happening. Haters equals seething. So let's take a listen here.
Same level of professionalism, that same level of modern product design, that same level of user experience to Kick. And that's really important. It is. It's really important.
So this one's coming from you, okay? Is Kick still banning 100 streamers a week from abusing KPP? So I think a while back we just mentioned that.
So we've thus far removed, I'd say probably about 1,500 people from KPP for botting and abusing it. You know, the reality is, on the back of those bans, we did see like a big drop off in people like trying to abuse the system. So, you know, we're going to continue that initiative. We are still removing probably about 10 to 20 people a week. Again, we're mainly focusing on the serial abusers. I think, you know, we talk about this very openly, right? You know, I think that's the great thing about Kick Talk. We're very transparent. We're very open. You know, we know that in live streaming, there is a lot of view botting. That's the reality. If we banned every single person who view botted from the KPP program, the reality is there wouldn't be many people left. That's the reality. It's the
Wow.
harsh reality. It's not just a problem isolated to Kick. It's a problem with all social media. All social media has a botting problem. That's the reality. And if people don't realize that, then then you're living in a false reality. You have to, I think, we're mainly focused on some of the massive abusers of that. And we've been removing their KBP, and we'll continue to do so. I think it's about sending a message that we just don't like that way of working. It is cheating. It's the sad reality. It is cheating. Using viewbots is cheating. You're cheating your way to the top of the directory. You're trying to overtake people, and we don't appreciate that. We don't. It would be great if we could continue to fight that battle. It's a tough battle. It's becoming ingrained in the culture. I think for so long, people can get away with it, and that's just how it's worked. And so it's like reversing this like almost cultural situation of acceptance almost. And I tell you what, one thing I'll just add, I know I don't want to get bogged down in the viewbots subject, because we could talk about viewbots for like, heck, we probably spent like half of our Kick Talks talking about viewbots. It's like a really common subject, and we could talk about it for hours. But I think on the subject of viewbots, Kick will always do its absolute best to try to curb it. Again, I've talked about the Trust team. This is an incredible team dedicated just to fighting back against viewbotting and other malicious activities. But I think the most powerful thing that you guys can do is hold streamers accountable. The reality is, if you see somebody that you enjoy watching, like consistently sitting at like several hundred viewers, and you kind of know that there's only like 7 people in the chat or whatever, again, sure, that doesn't mean they're viewbotting, but it's probably like, hold on, wait, something doesn't add up. Hold people accountable, right? Be like, hey, dude, that's not cool. That's not cool. Like, I think it's just about re-changing the stigma that like more viewers means you're cooler, right? Like, I disagree. Like, I really fuck with the streamers who have like 20 viewers and like really active communities and are just sitting there chilling on 20 viewers. They don't care. Like, that is cool. Like, I look at those guys and I'm like, you're cool. Like, you're cool. You don't care. Like, there's some really great streamers there. They just got like 30, 40 viewers. They're just chilling. They don't care. They don't need to use these programs to increase their viewership. And they got these amazing...
Anyways, guys, Eddie does bring up a very good point that botting is something that is unfortunately very prevalent in modern day content creation. It's harmful in many ways. If you're thinking like, oh, like, Lidia, what's the big deal about botting, right? The big deal, the problem is like, one, in order for Kick or Twitch to make money, they have to have advertisers who advertise on their platforms, right? And if you were to have a bot, then that advertising money isn't going to a person that could potentially buy a product in the future. It's just going to like a Russian spy bot or something like that, right? So that's why these platforms are really upset when it comes to viewbotting. And as a content creator, right, using viewbots is not good either. And like the reason for that is that like in order for you to, like hone your craft, right? The views are very important. They're like the most honest metric that you can have. You can be like, okay, when I did this, I had less views, but when I did this, I had more views. Maybe I'll have to like change my content to be a little bit more like this in order for people to enjoy consuming my content, right? By hiring viewbots, not only are you cheating the platform, you're also cheating yourself as well. That's the reason why companies don't like viewbots, and that's the reason why you really shouldn't get viewbots either. It does happen though in the community. Some people, like, in order to like artificially inflate their numbers, they do have viewbots, which I mean, like, is not great, which is not great. So anyways, guys, if you are streaming on Kick, it looks like they are actively looking for people who are using viewbots. So just be aware of that. Okay, guys, and that's it. That's the end of the VTuber News. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And guys, if you're not able to come over to Twitch, that is no problem. I do have a YouTube channel called LidiaVtuber Plays that backs up all of my gameplay, and I probably play through some of your favorites. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Take care. Mwah! Bye-bye! Is this a child? A teeny tiny little child? Okay, what are you doing here? Hi, I'm Zach. You want to buy weapons? Let me see what you have for trade. No. Okay. Can you give me a discount? So, can you give me a discount? Yeah. Well, until Gabriel says so, you're gonna pay full price like everybody else. Sorry about you. Who's Gabriel?